Good morning, children. Saira. Welcome to part 3 of History, Chapter 4 revision session of the chapter The Mughal Empire. Children, in the last session, we revised about the major campaigns and events of the Mughal Emperor. We also saw Mughal traditions of succession and Mughal relations with other rulers. So, we revised about all these things, right? So, today we will start the revision with Mansabdars and Jagirdars. But prior to that, keep your notepad and pen handy to jot down the important points, if any. Now, let us revise about administration under Mughal Empire. So, now in this we will revise about Mansabdars, Zamindars and Subedars. Now, let us understand who were Mansabdars. Those who joined Mughal services, they were enrolled as Mansabdars. So, basically the term Mansabdar refers to individual who holds Mansab. Mansab meaning position or rank. So, let us revise this in detail now. Under the expansion of different regions of Mughal Empire, they recruited diverse bodies of people. The empire started with a smaller Turkish nobles, that is Turanis, and expanded to include Iranians, Indians, Muslims, Afghans, Rajputs, Marathas and other groups. People who joined Mughal services were enrolled as Mansabdars, as told earlier. So, the term Mansabdar refers to an individual who holds a mansab, meaning a position or rank. So, it was a grading system and it was used by Mughals to fix a rank, salary or military responsibilities. Right? So, rank and salary were determined by a numerical value called Zat. The higher the Zat, the more prestigious was the noble's position and salary. The Mansabdars' military responsibilities required him to maintain a specified number of SAWARs or cavalrymen. So, why were they required to maintain a specific number of SAWAR or cavalry? In order to increase the military strength of the ruler. Children, Mansabdars received their salaries as revenue assignments called Jagirs, which was somehow, same like Ikhtas, you may say. But unlike Muktis, most Mansabdars did not actually reside in or administer their Jagirs. The revenue collected for them by the servants. So, basically in the Akbar's time, or during the Akbar's rule, these Jagirs were carefully assessed so that their revenues which are collected from the subjects were roughly equal to the salary of the Mansabdar. But in Aurangzeb's time, these Jagirs were not carefully assessed. There was a huge increase in the number of Mansabdars, which meant a long wait before they received a Jagir. So many Jagirdars tried to extract as much revenue as possible whenever they got a Jagir. Now children, before we move further, let us take a small Q&A session, that is question and answer session. So, who is a Mansabdar, children? Mansabdar refers to an individual who holds a mansab, that is, a position or rank in Mughal administration. What is the meaning of Jagir? Mansabdars received their salaries as revenue assignments known as Jagirs. What are those who joined Mughal service enrolled as? So those who joined the Mughal services were enrolled as Mansabdars. What do you think is the relationship between the Mansabdar and the Jagir? Understand children, Mansabdars were the patrons who joined Mughal services. Now they received their salaries as revenue assignments. This was called Jagir. Mansabdar did not actually reside in or administer their Jagir. They only had rights to the revenue of their assignments. The revenue collected for them by their servants, while the Mansabdars themselves served in some other part of the country. Let us revise the next topic for today, that is the Zabt and the Zamindars. The main source of income of Mughal rulers was tax on the produce of the peasantry. In most places, peasants paid the taxes through the rural elites, that is, the headman or the local chieftains. In the Mughal Empire, Zamindar is the term used to describe all intermediaries, whether they were local headmen of villages or powerful chieftains. Akbar's revenue minister, Todarmal, carried out a careful survey of crop yields, prices, and areas cultivated for a 10-year period, that is from 1570 to 1580. Tax was fixed on each crop in cash. So basically, the function of Zamindar was to collect taxes from peasants and submit the same to the central government's revenue department. Each province was divided into revenue circles with its own revenue rates for individual crops. The revenue system was known as Zabt. Zabt system was prevalent in those areas where Mughal administration could survey the land and keep very careful accounts. This was not possible in the provinces such as Gujarat and Bengal. So children, basically the main source of income available to Mughal rulers was tax on the produce of the peasantry, right? In most places, peasants paid taxes to the rural elites, that is the headmen or the local chieftains. The Mughals used one term, Zamindars, to describe all intermediaries, whether they were local headsmen of the village or powerful chieftains. Akbar's revenue minister Todarmal carried out a careful survey of crop yields, prices, and areas cultivated for a 10-year period, 1570 to 1580. So, on the basis of the data collected, tax was fixed on each crop in cash, and each province was divided into revenue circles with its own schedule of revenue rates for individual crops. Now, this revenue system was known as Zabt. It was prevalent in those areas where Mughal administrators could survey the land and keep a very careful accounts. This was not possible in provinces such as Gujarat and Bengal. Children, let us take a small Q&A session on this topic, that is question and answer session. How Todarmal organized his revenue system? Todarmal was Akbar's revenue minister. He carried out a careful survey of crop yields, prices, and areas cultivated for 10 years period, that is from 1570 to 1580. On the basis of this survey, tax was fixed on each crop in cash. Each province was divided into revenue circles with its own schedule of revenue rates for individual crops. This revenue system came to be known as Zabt. However, this Zabt system was prevalent in only those areas where Mughal administrators could survey the land. So children, with this I end this part, that is part 3 of History chapter 4, that is Mughal Empire revision session. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and keep learning.